KFAN.
Get ready for an incredible night of music with AWOL Nation. See their electrifying show when they take the stage at First Ave on April 28th. Tickets are on sale now, but caller number 13 right now will win a pair of tickets. 800-320-5326.
Could you, before you turn off your mic, where are they and when?
First Ave.
First Ave on April 28th.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome, too.
Yeah. Dude, you want to talk about bands that bring the energy. I saw them at the Fillmore with my daughter, a year and a half ago?
God, was it already a year?
Something like that.
Jeez Louise.
And the first time I saw AWOL Nation was opening for 21 Pilots. They're fantastic. AWOL Nation kicks ass. So good. Ben, you should check that out. It's First Avenue, man.
First
I
Avenue.
know, that would be really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to play
I like
one of
them.
these
I
days.
like them enough to go there.
Yeah, and they've got so many great songs.
Yep.
So
And
many
again,
great songs.
better live than even on the album.
I'm going to embarrass myself right now. I'm going to do it, though, because that's what this show's about, being honest. You guys ready? That's not true, by the way. What I just said is dumb. That wasn't even true what I just said.
That's the irony.
Dumb. So, nothing worse than somebody telling you their dreams. I hate it. Right?
But
this is ridiculous. I can't even imagine I can't even imagine. I woke up and I was singing a song that obviously I dreamt about Slowpoke Rodriguez.
what?
Yes.
Yes. And it wasn't that I thought it was a good song. I was so astounded that I had dreamt about, I mean, I can't even imagine the context of the dream.
Was it a song that you wrote in your dream about Slowpoke Rodriguez?
Did you sing it in his cadence?
No.
That's problematic.
Yes, but no. That's exactly what I was doing. I have no idea.
God, he's one of my all-time favorite cartoon characters.
It was about honesty, man.
I know.
Like he would get completely drunk or high and just be like,
And I'm embarrassed to play you this song. By the way, he wasn't drunk. He was higher than hell. I'm embarrassed to play you this, but I'm going to because I have to prove to you. I woke up and grabbed my phone and sang this into my phone because I couldn't believe what must have been happening in my dream. This is the song I wrote about, and it's a sad song. What the hell?
I felt bad for him.
Okay, this is...
I'm a slowpoke, and that ain't no joke. Because I'm speedy, he ain't like me. Because I'm slow.
I'm so embarrassed.
And I know I'm in the way most every day. But I'm a slowpoke.
By the way, I may have been PM when I was recording that. I had a whole chorus of a song in my head when I woke up. Now, do you think in my dream I was a global superstar because of my Speedy song?
No, but what I love is, like if somebody interviewed John Lennon back in the day and was like, how did you come up with Imagine?
Right.
And he would say, like, I felt like God's presence just handed it to me. Right? Or like the all-time muse just flowed through my body.
Right.
You dream about Slowpoke Rodriguez choruses.
That's the problem.
Like that's what God gave you.
That's the problem. Thanks a lot, God.
He gives John Lennon Imagine. He gives you Slowpoke Rodriguez, and I'm Slowpoke. I ain't no joke.
I know it's the worst poem of all time. I know, it's what I'm saying. I got to believe that the record companies turned me down in my dream as well.
I think you have something here. Don't let this divine intervention just like wither away today. I think that you can build off this.
You've been touched by the divine.
But you know what the weird thing is? I can't imagine, and I can often, if I remember a dream, say, well, I dreamt about that because of blank. What could have possibly spurred me to have a dream about a song about Slowpoke Rodriguez?
I don't know, but you know how epic it'd be if you were actually doing a concert and then on the giant screen behind you was just the Slowpoke Rodriguez cartoon playing?
Yeah.
My cousin is Senor Speedy.
And you can hear that I'm aching for poor Slowpoke because he ain't like his cousin.
He ain't no joke.
He ain't no joke.
So maybe that's what you're worried about, is that you are the Slowpoke Rodriguez of your life. And you're jealous of who's Speedy. Speedy would be, I don't know, like the lead singer of Wasp or something?
That's right. That could be.
Or maybe, as we just talked about, it's weird that we were on a bye week, and so like you felt anxious about being slowed down this weekend.
Oh, man. This is a different level. I had talked to Dr. Nick. Something's going on in my brain.
In the way line was very...
Yeah, he's in the... Oh, yeah, you caught that.
Yeah, that was deep, man.
That's sad, right?
That was deep.
Poor son of a bitch.
You feel like you're in the way?
Ben, you had that gal on Twin Cities Live like a month ago to analyze dreams.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm rolling my eyes when I'm watching it, but I'm watching it. I'm the only straight white guy in the Twin Cities that watches your show, I think. But I love your show.
I love it.
I watch it all the time. But I forget what your dream was, but it was super abstract and weird, but she still had an answer for it.
I bet it wasn't about Slowpoke Rodriguez.
It was not about Slowpoke Rodriguez.
It was like a recurring dream that you were having.
Zach will get ready for this. It was, you guys have those fever dreams?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, like the reoccurring fever dreams. Mm-hmm. So my reoccurring fever dream is like, I am probably the size of Slowpoke Rodriguez, like itty bitty guy, right? Mm-hmm. In a big cavernous world. And the world is it's just like I'm in like just a dark emptiness. And I got these giant black marbles that slowly chase me around and will squish me.
What?
Like Indiana Jones running away from the boulder.
So big black balls in my dreams, just trying to squish me.
And you have this all the time. But you said on the show, you never get crushed. I never
get crushed, but the anxiety of being rolled over by these giant black balls is just like enough to, it does like wake me up in that sort of like panic.
Yeah.
But it only happens when I have the fever.
Does it only happen after you've been in the Vikings locker room?
You didn't have it this week on a bye?
No, that would be giant eggplants just chasing me around. No.
Interesting.
Interesting. But I would prefer Slowpoke Rodriguez. Way prefer that.
Man, poor Slowpoke.
So what did the lady say about your black balls dreams?
I don't remember now.
I don't remember either. She had an immediate answer.
I love that stuff, though. It's funny, like you hate people hearing people's dreams. I used to listen to a radio show every night called The Dream Doctor Show, and it was a guy who interpreted dreams. It wasn't like supernaturally. Like he went to college, like they documented like thousands of dreams tried to match meanings to it. So they never had a big black ball dream on the show that I can remember.
Well, keep your dreams alive.
Never stop dreaming.
Yeah. I'm going to take some melatonin tonight and see what happens.
I would love to know the actual science behind it. How do they have any idea what any metaphor in your dream is supposed to mean? And why does it have to be metaphoric, right? Why can't it just be
obvious? It's the obvious, like you're late to school or you missed a test or something like that. That's pretty obvious.
Or you're grieving for a Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Yeah, because
the obvious stuff.
But like, this is a bad example, but like you'll tell somebody a dream interpreter your dream, and they'll be like, well, the parrot in that dream represents abandonment. I'm like, how do you know that? Since I had a parrot on my shoulder, I felt abandoned as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you getting that from? What if I just dreamt of a bird?
They study all these dreams. They hear them, they write them all down.
Apparently.
And then they find like connections. So they find like 10 people had parrots in their dreams, and then they go, what's going on in your life? And they find that connection.
Yeah,
that's how
I think
it works.
That's a stretch.
I don't know how.
Good luck to him.
Hi. Oh, hey,
Slowpoke Rodriguez.
I know. I don't know.
Interpret that.
That's my top story.
Good luck.
I think you should get a tattoo now of Slowpoke.
I would like to. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should.
What if you're calling? What if the way you tour the country is heartfelt, like ballads about all these cartoon characters and their issues, like Slowpoke feeling like he's not good enough compared to Speedy.
Yeah.
So you don't write a funny song, you write a serious, heavy ballad about how Slowpoke struggles with the jealousy of Speedy Gonzalez. And that's your angle. Your bit is just cartoon ballads.
Yeah.
Serious
like Wile E. Coyote.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Right. Constant disappointment. Wile E. Coyote.
Well,
constantly.
What about
he tries so hard.
Poor Elmer.
Elmer
never
Fudd
shoots anything.
Yeah. Even when he hasn't dead to rights.
Yeah.
He either misses or something happens.
I like it. That's a really good idea.
Good luck with Pepe Le Pew and his Me Too movement issues.
He's on death row.
That one's going to be dicey.
Oh, technically he hasn't assaulted anybody yet.
Oh, well,
he tries to.
He tries to.
Constantly.
What other cartoon characters need a ballad?
I think he should just stick with Looney Tunes characters. There's just so many to choose from.
But I don't know if these kids these days know anything about the Looney Tunes. Do the kids these days know the Looney Tunes?
I don't even think most of the kids listening understand the Slowpoke Rodriguez reference, which is too bad. He's the best.
My dreams are out of date.
What about Gossamer? Was he wasn't
The hell was that?
The Saved by the Bell guy.
Mark Paul?
You got Ben on that one.
Yeah, just because my visual of Gossamer is not at all what Zach looks like. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? He's like the big monster that's just like furry.
I didn't know what his name was. I know who that is now, but I didn't know that was
That's
his name.
his name?
I think his name is Gossamer.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Wow.
I never knew he had a name.
I didn't know that he had a name
that
either.
either.
You learned
Am
something.
I
on the
wrong
Park
about
Trip.
that?
God,
I should probably look
dream
that up.
about him tonight.
What about Taz?
Oh, yeah.
He's misunderstood.
That's the chorus of the song.
He feels like his life is just spinning out of control.
Oh, my God, Corey.
And he just wants stability for once in his GD life.
You're good
Oh
at this.
my
You should interpret cartoons for
Oh my
instead of
God.
dreams.
I watched
about that
a
old
lot of
bitch
Looney
that-
Tunes. Yeah, the grandma. That old bitch. Grandma something, right? What was her name?
I don't know, but Mammy. Remember? What's his face? Sylvester Stallone.
Her name was, by the way, the grandmother in Looney Tunes, her name was just Granny. I just looked it up. That's it.
What about Granny and Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Oh, yeah.
God, did I love Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't
Man,
remember
she had
Courage.
a wagon.
He was later. He was Nickelodeon.
Oh,
era.
was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was thicker than a peanut butter and molasses milkshake. I mean, yeah, come on now.
No Elastigirl.
Anyway, that's the news. Brought to you by
Ariel.
friends at Carbonis. I love me some Carbonis.
Oh, it's so good.
I just love it. Hey, by the way, speaking of the news, real quick, I did have a story, Ben, that brought to mind a memory that I had of when you and I were in lovely London town, hanging out with Pete Bursich and Paul Allen.
Yep.
Do you remember that the robot waiter?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't brought that up yet.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, they had like basically a Johnny Five.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, it was like a Johnny Five that had these like built-in trays to him, and then he would bring you the drinks.
Yeah.
He didn't bring us the drinks,
He
but
did, no, on the lower level, yeah.
the main dining floor, he would just. I don't know. I guess I didn't anatomically. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl, but he or she.
Like a Roomba.
Yeah, it was a Johnny Five Roomba that would bring you your drinks.
And he brought food too, by the way. Yeah, right.
So they have those. They have that bar in Vegas, right, where the bartender's a robot, but it's not mobile, right? It's just automated robot guy or whatever thing behind the counter that makes drinks. You're saying this one was rolling around the restaurant handing out drinks.
That's right,
and food.
man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is super cool.
Well, check this out.
They took our jobs.
The future is here for University of Minnesota students who can now have their food delivered by robots. M Food Company has partnered with Starship Technologies to offer delivery services from campus restaurants to over 40 buildings on the East Bank, all by a tiny robot.
I've seen these stories in the past. Think of it like DoorDash, but with a. Some of the ones that I've seen, it looks like an igloo cooler.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like right here, Ben.
There
Look.
you go. Yeah, on wheels.
That's exactly it.
And then it
Yeah.
basically door dashes your food straight to you, automated, right? It just drives itself to your dorm, and then you meet it there, and you have some code and get it out of the cooler.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty
So
cool.
what's
man.
going to stop somebody from picking up this little guy and just taking the food that's inside of it?
I think it's
Not
locked.
a damn thing.
Yeah, it's definitely locked. You have to have a code to open it. But yeah, I feel where you come from. They look pretty heavy. I bet they're heavy.
I think it's more of it's not worth the hassle.
Yeah, and I'm sure they
part.
got trackers on them, stuff like that.
Do you have to be a student to eat at M Food Co.?
Calm down, Zach. Just go to fast food joints in Maplewood or White Bear.
Would you do me a favor and order some right now? I'm starving.
I'm trying. I think you need a student account, though.
No, I don't mean for that. Like regular old DoorDash.
Oh, okay.
I'm buying.
All right.
Did you
Somebody
notice that
else is
too in
fine.
London? The number of food delivery people that were out on the streets
All the time on bicycles.
Bikes.
All
Yeah,
the time.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Goodness.
Everywhere, yep. Mm-hmm. Great idea.
Yep.
They have
Man.
giant, like, Santa Claus sacks of food, too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Santa Claus sacks.
Man, if you live in a condensed population like that, though, where you can bike everywhere, you're not putting miles on a vehicle, right? So you're getting great exercise and making some money.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good for them. Sports is next. More with Ben Lieber and the rest of the Power 2 Morning Show after this on The Fan.
Thank you, Carbonis.
The Fan.
Fan. I wish so badly I could play Slowpoke Rodriguez singing La Cucaracha right now. I just watched.
La Cucaracha.
Yeah, never mind. I don't have to play it. That is exactly it. That is exactly it.
You have that nailed, Corey. I love that.
I can't tell you how many years of my life I spent watching Looney Tunes. I freaking love it. One of the all-timers.
So damned good.
Hey, we should do sports in a second, but, I don't know. Have we ever really talked to Ben about the charge challenge punishment on the air? Have we ever walked through that about
No, we have not.
how awesome
Not
it is
on
that
the
you
air,
guys are
no.
going to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we've explained the punishment for people, but, man, first of all, thank you to Twin Cities Live for being a part of this, for allowing
Cool.
Yeah, for
man.
sure.
us to
Thank
do
you.
this. But I am smiling so much at how confused your viewership in your case, viewership is going to be confused. Because part of the beauty of the segment is when the segment's actually happening and all of the people that lose the charge challenge this year are going to be dressed as the National Enquirer Bat Boy from the 90s.
Yep.
With no explanation. So you guys come back, you guys preview it, go, hey, coming up next. I'm just going to throw a couple names out here because we don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, John Creasel and, Paul Meatsauce Lambert from the Power Trip Morning Show are going to be on Twin Cities Live to talk about a charity walk in Savage, Minnesota in 3 weeks, whatever. You preview it. We come back from break on Twin Cities Live, and there's a couple of us sitting as Bat Boy, and it just says Paul Lambert, John Creasel, KFAN Radio.
Yeah.
And they're dressed as Bat Boy. They don't reference the fact that they're dressed like this. You guys interview them seriously.
Yep.
And I got to think your listener, God, I did it again. Your viewers for 10 straight minutes are going to say, what the hell is happening? It's May 12th, right? This is not Halloween.
No,
because it's going to happen next spring. It's going to be when the Saints baseball team is back up and running. So whenever that is, your viewers are going to be so freaking confused.
Yeah, it's
Which
going to
is
be
the
great.
point.
And when I was having the conversation with Mike about this, there is that, it's like we don't want to deceive the viewers so much and like really confuse them and just have like this really kind of like throwaway segment. Mm-hmm. And even so, the back and forth, and I know that we have some things to iron out, but he and I were just discussing. He's like, do we kind of do the big reveal at the end of the segment? I'm like, no, I think we go through the whole segment.
Yep.
And he's just like, oh boy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think
you can do it the next segment.
Yeah,
though,
that's
right?
what I said.
Segment ends, and as soon as you guys are back, just go, all right, here's what just happened.
Yeah.
And you and Elizabeth can rip the
Correct.
Band-Aid off and reveal all of it and say, this was not on us. Here's what we had to do.
So
that's the way to do it.
I think the best way this is going to make it work, because, our segment, we try to have a flow to our rundowns into the show, but like, this is going to be such an outlier as far as like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. That I think that we have to back it up with a segment about the Saints. So then we can actually take some time and
That's smart.
we can, tie it all together in the next segment. And then it's not just a complete departure from, hey, now we're cooking and we're making falafels, So it's, and then we don't have to be like, okay, before we make these falafels, we got to tell you what just happened and reference it. And we'll probably take 90 seconds to do that.
Two things, right? In a vacuum, that segment's going to be one of the weirdest segments in the history of your show, if not the weirdest, because it's going to be just unbelievably bizarre that it's never referenced why they're dressed like vampires in May. But then number two is, even though this might not be your core demo, can you imagine how many power trippers are going to tune in that day?
Oh,
when we
it's
say
gonna be great.
3 to 4:30 today, Twin Cities Live, you got to see it because half of us are going to be Bat Boy. You guys are going to have monster ratings that day.
Well, and the thing is the thing we have to keep in mind here is if it's two losers that have to do this, right? Well, it's four people they're all in on the bid, and we got to all commit to the bid.
Commit.
Like there's no snickering. There's no biting your lip, trying to get through this. It's just, we have to play this so straight. And I really want you guys to get professional makeup done.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of it.
That's a done deal.
Like,
sure.
it's got to be
It's got to be legit.
Legit.
But can you imagine, let's just use Creasel, for example, right? Can you imagine so John, you've toured the last handful of years and you do keynote speeches about your book Still Standing and the experience you had in Iraq and losing your legs. Tell us a little bit about that. And he has to answer it seriously dressed as Bat Boy. That's going to be epic to not break.
Yeah, you can't break.
Can't break.
So is there a punishment for breaking?
We haven't thought of what that would be. It's kind of just a gentleman's code, right? Like, come on, you can't break. There's no smiling, no laughing. You can't say, I lost a fantasy football bet. We know, Paul. Just keep it straight.
Yeah, we ain't got to worry about that. Nobody will do that.
I don't think so. I think everybody's going to do their best.
I want you to talk to Zach, because he's definitely going to lose, about coming out live on the radio. Just really discuss the topic.
That would be fantastic.
Just really get down deep into it.
Yeah.
What went into your decision to make the Power Trip Morning Show the spot where you wanted to make that announcement? And he has to answer.
Well,
just as bad for it. Hey, Mark Parrish, you've mentioned publicly multiple times on the Power Trip Morning Show your battles with alcohol and rehab. Talk about that decision to go to rehab. And he has to sit there dressed as a bat and go, yeah, you got to reach out. You got to help yourself. Yep. Thanks, Bat Boy.
Are they getting like
fangs?
Tooth implants?
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. You got to look like Bat Boy.
You got to look like it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, think about them kind of slurring a little bit too when they're talking through this.
I have a very good friend named Abby who is a professional movie makeup person.
Yikes.
Yeah. So she does it all. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be
It's going to be perfect.
Going to the Saints game afterwards and being, quote, Bat Boy, right, in whatever job the Saints want you to do there, that's part of it. Your show to me is my favorite part because that also can live in infamy, right? Because we can have that video forever.
Yeah. We'll submit that for an Emmy. For sure.
A regional Emmy.
Yeah.
But it'll show the professionalism of both of you as interviewers because you guys are going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on you guys, which is going to be great. But you're both unbelievably
we can pull it
good
off. I mean, the fact that we have all this time to prepare, we'll be fine.
Epic.
The Saints deal when they're actually the Bat Boys, that's easy because everybody around them are like, "What are you guys?" Like, I lost a bet. Like, you don't have to play the bit,
right?
You don't have to play it straight for the next 3 hours during the baseball game.
You can have fun.
You can have fun with it.
Screw around, right?
But for 15 minutes,
it's got to be
live
serious.
on air.
Yep.
You've got to be serious.
Serious topics, serious questions. Play it straight. Former NHL All-Star Mark Parrish, just sitting there
in a cape.
Yep.
With pointy ears, a bald cap,
with a popped collar and a cape.
I cannot wait.
Love it.
There's been so many punishments the last couple of years that we're like, man, great punishment. I just wish we would have had more than one person lose so we could kind of, like, how long does it take Chris to finish the 50 miles versus Sauce, right? Last year, Zach drives from Philly to L.A. It would have been great if we had 2 or 3 of us on different paths. This one, you could argue, might have been the best if it's just one person, but it looks like we might have 3 or 4. It's gonna be a full studio at Twin Cities Live.
We're gonna have a flock of bats, or we just do it on Friday in the last segment, and then we don't give any. We don't like tell anybody. We're like, have a good weekend, bye.
I'd love that even more.
Man, that's gonna be super fun. All right, we got to know sports. We'll do that when we come back because there's not really Vikings news, but we technically can do that in a second as well. More with Ben Lieber after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Patrick Morning Show. I should ask you, Max, do you have anything you need to read right now?
I always got something to read if you ask Barb Nearin.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Rubes, this football season, Bell Bank is giving one KFAN listener each week $1,000 to pay it forward to a charity of their choice. Just head over to KFAN.com, keyword contest to learn more and enter today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
I like it. Patrick Morning Show. We have some sports to do, so I'll hit this.
It's time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Hey, thanks, All Around.
Thank you, All Around, and we'll throw in some Vikings news brought to you by Radco in there somewhere if we got any, but,
bye week,
right?
Yep.
And Ben decided to leave. He's sick of you. I don't blame him a bit. I don't know what you said this time, but, man, did you piss him off?
Oh, boy, he stormed out of here.
He did storm off. That's my fault.
Double birds.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know, there's some things you shouldn't talk about at the dinner table or like Thanksgiving dinner. And I just talked about all of them.
You did all of them. And you like that, though. You like the...
yeah,
you like
I do
to
like
make
the
people
controversy.
uncomfortable. You
That's
really
my
do.
favorite thing, exactly.
Right.
Cringe comedy, like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Amen.
Or most of The
Or
Office.
Scott's Tots.
Oh, man.
Golly gee.
Watch that episode.
Still gives me anxiety.
It still does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
every
telling you,
time.
that one's hard to watch.
I get to when Stanley laughs when he finds out that, and then I hit skip episode because I can get through that. I can't get to the classroom scenes.
I feel the same way about the Diwali episode when Michael proposes. Every time I'm like, God, don't do it. Don't do it.
She's dressed as a cheerleader because he thought it was a costume party.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. So good. The Liberty beat the Lynx in Game 2 of the WNBA Finals, 80-66. That series now tied at 1. Game 3 is Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Don't tell me you have tickets.
Rosie can't make it.
Oh, Rosie, Cheryl Reeves pissed.
I'm disappointed that we let it get to 17. I'm more disappointed than that. You know, I'm more than disappointed. I'm pissed that happened again.
Yep. She's pissed.
Yeah, they played catch up the whole game pretty
Yeah,
much.
they did, man. And two, I know they won in overtime in game 1, but two kind of not real strong efforts out of our squad, right? Even with the comeback win. So they'll be home though. They're home, and you split in the championship.
Yes, sir.
On the road, you got to feel pretty good about it.
Right.
So this is best of 7, right?
Best of 5.
Best of 5.
Oh,
Next
only
year.
best of 5.
Only best. It should be best of 7. I don't know why it's not.
Starts next year. Yep.
Yep.
So they could close this thing out on Friday.
Could.
They win on Wednesday, they can win on Friday, and it's over.
And it's over.
That'd be sweet.
The Los Angeles Dodgers of Anaheim won 9-0 over the Mets in Game 1 of the NLCS. Just 3 hits for the Mets. And the Dodgers now 33 consecutive scoreless innings pitched. That ties the postseason record with the 1966 Orioles. 33 straight innings without giving up a run.
That's impressive.
It's insanity, especially because they're missing like 3 or 4 of their starting rotation of pitchers. One of those games was they had 8 different pitchers that pitched a scoreless game. I mean, it's absolutely incredible what they're doing right now.
Game 2, Mets at Dodgers today a little after 3, and then Guardians at Yankees a little after 6:30. Game 1 of the ALCS.
Wow. How about the fact that, no shocker here. The 3 teams that have the highest payroll in Major League Baseball, they're in the playoffs.
Right. Even the Mets, like, who have been a good story, people are acting like, oh, the scrappy underdog Mets. It's like they spent like $5 billion. Let's calm down, okay?
Yeah. So, both New York teams and the Dodgers, 3 highest paid payrolls.
And then there's Cleveland with
and then there's
the power
Cleveland.
of friendship.
I know.
Then is it true that you're one of the leading candidates to buy the Twins?
Man, if I had the funds,
be fine.
absolutely.
I'd like to, but I am truly a Poe lad, so I can't afford
See
to
what you
buy
did
it.
there.
I'd like to start a cover band called the Poe Lads, and just instead, only be P.O. with a little thing, whatever you call those things, by the O.
Umlauts.
Thank you.
And then you guys sing about Speedy Gonzalez and Slowpoke Rodriguez and Foghorn Leghorn, and we got it all figured out here.
We got a big thing going on here.
What else here? The Wild lost to the Jets in overtime 2-1.
Rosie, damn it.
Okay, I was confused. You said the record is what?
1-0-2 because they've lost twice now after regulation. They lost in a shootout to Seattle and then overtime to Winnipeg. 1-0-2.
Oh, gotcha. I was thinking that 2 was a tie. But
it was way back in the day.
Way back. Yeah.
Now those are
I'm
the overtime
thinking
loss.
I'm thinking
column.
like football football standings.
Right.
You can tie. So there are no ties.
No ties in the NHL no more.
No anymore. No, those are overtime losses. So shootout loss on Saturday, and then an overtime loss yesterday.
Yeah, took a tough penalty. Had to take the penalty. Bogosian did, holding the stick with like 3 seconds left. So they started 4-on-3. And gave up a goal. And the sucky thing too is that the one goal that Winnipeg had in regulation was with less than like 3 seconds left in the first period. They pulled their goaltender because it was a face-off in the Wild zone. Won the face-off, just a clap bomb from the point and.
Clap bomb?
What the hell's a clap
That's
bomb?
no.
Slap your cheeks
That is
together?
that's a Charlie XCX song, I think.
Yeah.
Is that a
that's what
sniffer?
I think that's what Hawk had in the 80s.
Well, I'll tell you what it is when I do in the studio here a lot of times.
Yeah.
I leave a clap bomb.
Is that something that people on Sniffers Row experience?
Well, if somebody had chili.
Oh.
I'm just like those skeletons that are just getting blown to bits in the movies. Ah!
Gross. Lion star Aiden Hutchinson broke his tibia, carted off after it was put in an immediate air cast, and he stayed in Texas and got immediate emergency surgery, Benjamin.
Yeah, it was. I am unlike you guys. I was still morbidly curious of like what it looked like.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't watch.
I gotta admit, I was surprised that on X, it took me some scrolling to find the actual video.
How bad is it?
Thankfully he's wearing his high socks, and it is a lower tibia break. But there definitely is some unnatural movement that happens with his lower leg, and it's not one of those things that like spins around, but it flops for sure.
Can you see the bone is sticking out?
No, that's the thing. That the good thing is the socks pretty much cover all the really gruesome grossness.
Yeah.
But you can tell his leg breaks. Pretty obvious.
Can you hear Rosie's laugh in the clip?
No.
I heard it was the second hardest he's laughed at something in Dallas.
Oh my, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Should we go around the NFL a little bit and get Ben's reaction? Ready, Benjamin?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Sorry,
Thanks, James Brown.
I had my eye on this game because I had Chris Godwin in the Fantasy Charge Challenge, but what a weird game. The Buccaneers and Saints game. The Bucs scored 17 points in the first quarter, right? You get a 17-point lead in the NFL. That lead was gone by midway through the second quarter because the Saints scored 20 consecutive points to take a 20-17 lead. They're like, weird. They just blew a 17-point lead and it's not even halftime. The Buccaneers went on to win 51-27. So, giant run by Tampa Bay, then a giant run by New Orleans, and then Tampa scored a billion touchdowns after that. 4 second half touchdowns to pull away.
Well, that is the key. I mean, you look at the Saints in the second half, not one single point.
Nope.
So they the Buccaneers scored 27, they scored 0, and it seemed way lopsided with the final score, but it was much, much closer. How about our guy Spencer Rattler comes out 22 of 40 for 243, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. He looked all right.
Yeah.
Fine.
And Baker, man, what a weird stat line for him. 325 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Right, when you throw 3 picks and you still win by 24 points, weird one.
Yeah,
it's a
definitely.
weird game.
Yeah, weird game. But they seem to be sort of the best team in that division outside of Atlanta, who does seem to be
they're figuring
things out. I mean, Kirk looks way more decisive. He's throwing the ball in super tight windows. Guys are actually making plays for him, which I don't think they're doing before. I mean, it's been a while that some of these guys have never played with a quarterback that could throw the ball this well,
right,
and could make risky throws like that. And I think they're starting to realize you always got to feel like you're open with Kirk.
You want to do what really matters? Or you want to just keep going through football?
Just keep going, please.
Go through football?
Yeah, please.
London game. Caleb Williams kind of erupts again. A slow start for the Chicago Bears, but once the second quarter and beyond came, they just were putting up giant numbers. They win 35-16 over the Jags. Bears are 4-2. The Jags are 1-5. Caleb Williams, 4 touchdowns and 226 yards and 56 yards rushing.
Yeah, we talked earlier about Dallas. What are they going to do with their head coach? I mean, seriously, what is Shad Khan going to do with his team in Jacksonville? I mean, are they going to fire the head coach? I mean, I don't know if it makes it any better. I think collectively the organization made a bad mistake by signing Trevor Lawrence to a long-term deal. But it seems like...
Can I ask you about that before you move on?
Yeah.
Remember you were saying, but it seems like, I'm going to take you back to that. Is that hindsight 2020? Do you know what I mean? Like, did it look like a bad deal when they signed Trevor Lawrence at the time?
Personally, yes.
Okay, all right.
I never understood after 1 year in the NFL. I never understood the love of Trevor Lawrence.
Okay,
I just think that he's a below average quarterback. I don't think that he's anything special. He doesn't show anything to me like, man, that was a special throw. That was something like unlike any quarterback that we've seen. Like, there just doesn't seem to be. I just don't think he has it. I really don't. And then what I was going to say earlier is that they're not getting great play from him. They're not running the football, and their defense, which they had rebuilt that defense years ago, is not playing all that well either. So they have other issues outside Trevor Lawrence, but we all know if you've got a competent quarterback that can actually, move the ball up and down the field, pick up first downs, like everything seems to kind of be in sync and fall in line after that. They don't have any one of those three things going for them.
Sunday Night Football, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Giants 17-7, kind of an ugly one. Joe Burrow did not throw for a touchdown, but ran for a 47-yard scamper when the Giants were all on the left side of the field, and he saw a wide open path and just went for it. Right. 47-yard touchdown.
Wow, man. Yeah.
Yeah, longest of his career. And that really was kind of the deciding play. I mean, Chase Brown had a fumble late in the game that could have been like a big time momentum swing, even though it was in Giants territory. The ball goes out of bounds, and then he just takes it to the house like 30 yards on the play later, 2 plays later, to seal the game. But that was kind of an uneventful game. Again, Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. He's not very good, and they've got issues there too. They're stuck with a really big contract. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but it's not I don't think it's the head coach's fault. It's just a bad organizational decision to put all your eggs in one basket with this very average quarterback.
Man, that's like you throw those two that you talked about in with the Cleveland Browns situation. Mm-hmm. My goodness.
Yep.
All of them are screwed.
The Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love won 34-13 over Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals. Jordan Love 4 touchdowns, 258 yards. The Packers are now 4-2. The Cardinals fall to 2-4. And in that game, Marvin Harrison, no catches, 2 targets, and a concussion. And Zach had him in the charge challenge. Hi, Zach.
I wish he would have toughed it out for me, but that's fine. Go to your little injury tent.
Yeah.
Go worry about your brain and your future, but don't worry about me and my future as a
bad boy.
Bad boy. Yeah. You're going to make a great vampire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I heard it sucks.
Okay, enough of that.
Waka.
Packers are 4-2. Again, we talked about the Bears just a second ago. Everybody in this division is kicking ass. Everybody has a winning record. The Lions and Vikings have a monster showdown not a week from.
It's the Sunday.
I guess it's a week from yesterday.
Yeah.
On Sunday. That's a monster game.
Everything about what you just said was predictable except for us. Everybody knew every team was going to have a good year except for us.
True.
Back at home for the first time in about 2 years, I think. Is what
Seems like that, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome weekend against these Detroit Lions. But this Packers-Arizona game, at least the parts that I saw, 2 different classes of teams. Look, I love the Arizona for their head coach having the Vikings ties, and we've got a local kid that's a defensive coordinator and all this other stuff. It's super cool, but look, they are not even on the same realm in the same level as the Packers, and the Packers showed it pretty early on. They dominated them early and just kind of cruised to a victory.
Baltimore Ravens 30-23 over the Commanders. Both teams now 4-2. Ravens got off to a slow start right up for the season, and now they just look like they might be one of the best teams in football. Lamar Jackson, 323 yards passing, 1 touchdown, also ran for 40. But Derrick Henry, 132 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. I didn't see a lot of the game. I saw a couple of the highlights, but I did see the Fox crew talking about this game, and they were all, despite the loss, just raving about Jaden Daniels again, saying like this is another one of those games where you're not looking for moral victories, but Baltimore's legit, and you hung with them. And Jaden Daniels, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran for 22 yards. So it's another one of those, like, this kid's the real deal despite the loss.
And I don't know if you guys have just seen him, the way he talks to the media. He seems like a superstar, and he knows it.
Yeah.
And not like a super cocky way, but he's mature. He definitely has that it factor that I think that he knows that he belongs in the league. He knows how well he's playing. He says sort of like all the right things, even when people try to, trap him into these, Lamar Jackson comparisons and all this other stuff. I mean, he understands that Lamar's, he's a former MVP of this league and continues to do like amazing things. And he's like, he's just very humble about how good he is already in just his rookie year.
brain fart. Has Lamar won a Super Bowl?
No.
This is the year. If you guys had to pick one team right now to win the Super Bowl, who would you choose? And I know you'd probably all go Kansas City. I'm telling you, this is the Ravens' year. I can feel it.
Well, if it's Ravens and Vikings, then I'm not going to say that.
Well, yeah. I mean, right. But no, I'm making a prediction right now. That's what I think is going to happen.
I tell you what, though, I mean, the way that these NFL defenses are built, nobody wants to see Ricard as a fullback that's 260 pounds in front of another 250-pounder. Like, nobody wants to see that.
Everything's cyclical, man.
That's a huge bitch.
It really is.
And you can see these defenses just they don't know how to stop this ground game with Baltimore. And then you just get a couple flick of the wrists from Lamar Jackson, and all of a sudden they're over the top of your defense. They have the sort of the complete package on offense.
Yep.
Shout out yet again. Let's just do this almost every week. The Steelers are 4-2 with Justin Fields because Mike Tomlin never has had a sub 500 record. He's going to find a way to do it again this year. 32-13 over the Raiders. The Raiders fall to 2-4, but the Steelers are 4-2.
Unreal.
4-2. Like on paper, this should have been like, oh man, Tomlin's streak is going to end. A busted up Russell Wilson. Justin Fields kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and they got new life out of Justin Fields, and they're 4-2.
You adapt to the talent you have, right, Ben? I mean,
Tomlin's just a beast.
He's so good. So I haven't been paying that much attention. So Russ is healthy, right?
I think he is.
Is he a healthy scratch? I didn't think so. I thought he was hurt.
Close. Oh man.
Keep going.
It's a good question though, Benjamin. Not sure.
He was officially active yesterday. It looks like, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that's, I guess there's really no controversy now. It's just Justin Fields until he starts playing bad, or what?
Well, how about this? How many interceptions do you think Justin Fields has thrown through 6 games?
2.
0.
1.
1. Wow.
I mean, he's only thrown 5 touchdowns, so he's not lighting the world up, but he's only turned it over once, at least. I don't know how many times he's fumbled, but 1 interception in 6 games? That's why they're 4-2.
Well, and they're about to be 6-2. They have the Jets coming up on Monday night or on Sunday Night Football. They should probably win that one.
Oh, yuck. Jets, Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
Yikes.
Gross.
Yeah. And then they play the Giants the next week on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's another stinker. Great.
And they have a bye week.
How about 2 monster games this week? You have the Lions and the Vikings, but how about the Super Bowl rematch of Chiefs-Niners?
Yeah.
That's going to be massive.
Come on, Niners. Come on. Let's go.
Again,
that's
brain
in
fart.
San Francisco.
Old man brain here. Is dude back yet? Is he? He's not for the year, is he?
No,
he's not back yet.
He's not back yet, though.
I think they're. It seems like they're a little worried about his
whole
status.
year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Let me check that line quick because I'm very curious.
Come on.
By the way, the Vikes are 2-point favorites on DraftKings.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's kind of cool.
Is that the first time all year they've entered a week as favorites?
It might be.
They were a 1 or so point favorite against the Giants in week 1, maybe 2 points. They were a slight favorite in that one. Niners, Chiefs, quickly guess. Who's favored and by how many points?
Chiefs by 2.
It's in California.
Oh,
Chiefs by 3.
Chiefs by 3.5.
Niners by 1.
No kidding.
Niners 1-point favorites at home.
Come on, Niners.
8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show right after this on the Fan.